Welcome to another video here on Running with BK, and today we're going to talk about the 5K. Whether you're just starting from zero and getting into running and want to get to the point where you can actually run 3.1 miles, or you've been running 5Ks for a long time and your goal is to get faster, I've got some training tips to offer you today. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Thanks again for tuning in to Keep Running with BK, where my goal is to share with you running insights, training tips, and motivation to help you keep running. And today we're talking about the 5K. And I'm going to spend the first few minutes here talking specifically to those who are maybe starting from zero or just getting into running and looking to develop enough endurance to actually be able to complete a 5K. And then I'll spend more time talking specifically to those who have run 5Ks and are looking to get faster and improve their time or run a particular race time goal. The 5K is a great place to get started. It's usually most people, as younger runners or those just getting into running, their introduction into distance running. It's a very doable distance that can be achieved in a very reasonable amount of time. But the key is getting started and staying consistent and developing your endurance. And the goal ultimately is to work up to exercising consistently for at least a half an hour. And as you get more and more comfortable, you'll do more and more running and jogging and less walking. So if you're just getting started, I would highly recommend that you start with like a 5-minute walk just to warm up and get the blood flowing and your muscles to warm up. And then alternate between 30-second and 1-minute jogging efforts, followed by 30-second to 1-minute walking efforts, and alternating on and off walking, running, for at least 20 minutes, and then finishing off with a nice easy 5-minute walking cool down. As you get more and more comfortable, then maybe you lengthen the jogging and running efforts from 30 seconds to a minute to maybe a minute to 2 minutes, and then start reducing your walking breaks in between, and before you know it, you'll actually be running more and more to the point where you can actually run easy for the entire duration. Once you get to that point, you're ready really to start thinking about either going out and running your 5K, or maybe even thinking about signing up for your first 5K race and going out there and being around other runners and really enjoying that really exciting experience, and see what you can do in running your first 5K. If I was to leave you with one thought as a beginner, the goal here is to work up to running for 30 minutes non-stop. The goal is not speed, it's not to go see how fast you can go, but it's to go out there, run comfortably, and be able to run consistently for 30 minutes. Once you've achieved that, then you're ready for the next step. As I turn my attention now that you can run a 5K, how do you run a 5K faster? The key to running faster really at any distance, whether it be the 5K all the way up to, who knows, the ultra marathon, is continually to build your volume, to build up your mileage so that you have a solid foundation with which to run on. The temptation when you're trying to go faster is to go out there and run hard every single day or every single run, or you're going out there and you're trying to run easy, but you feel that time pressure, you feel that pressure of your goal to run faster, and you end up running too hard. It's really important that as you build your mileage, that you're building the majority of that on easy running, and you're lengthening the amount of time that you're running, or you're gradually building the distance that you're running, or that you're building the number of days that you're running. And I would suggest that you keep at least 80% of your weekly running at an easy effort. This allows for your hard days to truly be hard days. So as you're doing the speed work to get faster, you're actually fully rested, fully recovered. And then you begin to appreciate the importance of those easy days to be truly easy, so that you can flush out that lactic acid, you can flush out that soreness, you can allow your body time to recover, and so you can have the quality hard efforts that you desire to get faster at the 5K. One of the things that you often forget when you're training for a 5K and you want to go faster is the importance of your long run. You still need that because, again, you're building the foundation, you're building your aerobic capacity, and including a long run of at least 6 to 8 miles for someone who's training primarily for a 5K can still add a lot of value and a lot of quality to your overall training and better prepare you to run a fast 5K. So once you have your easy days easy and you have your long run in place, then we get to the point where we talk about how do I run faster specifically for a 5K. There are a lot of varieties of speed work type exercises that you can do in your running program to help you get faster. The main three that I think of are repeats, intervals, and tempo or threshold runs. And the one idea to keep in mind when doing speed work is the harder you run, the shorter those distances are going to be, and the less of your overall weekly mileage that type of running should be. I like to start with repeats for about 3 to 6 weeks. And repeats are going to be your hardest type of speed work that you're going to do. And you're going to run these at roughly what you would race for a mile. So it's pretty intense. So the distance should be fairly short, roughly 200 to 400 yards, 200 to 400 meters, or a half lap or full lap around the track. I've actually done an entire video on running repeats that I'll provide a link for up in the right hand corner. And the goal here with repeats is to introduce speed work, get your body used to running hard, and you want to allow your body to completely recover after each one of them so that you can be ready to run really hard on the next one. And when you're running repeats, you don't want the volume of hard effort to be any more than 5% of your weekly mileage. The second type of speed work you might consider is running intervals, which is anywhere from 400 to 1200 meters or 1 to 3 laps around the track. And you are running this slightly less intense than you would repeats. This would be around your 5K race pace, and you don't want it to be any more than 8% of your weekly mileage. The goal of your intervals is to maintain a consistent pace. You want to keep it consistent, you want to keep it even, and you don't need a complete recovery in between your efforts, but you do want to allow yourself some time. So if I run, say, a half mile interval, then I'm going to allow myself typically a quarter mile or a half a mile easy run in between to recover from the hard effort. Well, before I get on to the third type of speed work, if you're finding this information to be helpful or valuable, please like the video, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and checking out some of the other videos and staying tuned for future videos on additional topics. And if you have any questions or suggestions for other topics for me to cover in the future, share those down in the comments, and I'll do my best to put it in the schedule and share more information with you on that in the future. So with that said, moving on to the third type of speed work that you might consider doing to help you get faster at the 5K is what I refer to as threshold or tempo runs. And this is certainly longer efforts where you're running at a comfortably hard pace that you could maintain if you were to, say, race for an hour. And you can do hard efforts up to a mile, or even 10, 15, 20 minute consistent even hard efforts with some recovery in between, up to about 10% of your weekly mileage. Of all the speed work types, this is probably my favorite. This is like my sweet spot. I just love that running for 20 minutes at a comfortably hard pace where I really feel like, man, I'm really hitting my stride here, and I really feel like I'm at my best when it comes to running. A couple of other tips here that I would offer you as you consider how do I run 5K faster. I would start with repeats and then maybe do that for 3 weeks. And then maybe at that point in time, you start considering maybe one repeat workout during the week and then one interval speed workout during the week. But make sure you leave easy days in between to give your body a chance to recover. And again, keep in mind the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your running is easy and no more than 20% of your speed work throughout the week is the hard efforts. Maybe once you've done maybe 3 to 6 weeks of repeats and you've started overlapping or alternating between repeats and intervals, then maybe you switch to alternating between intervals and tempo or threshold runs. Maybe even mixing in some of the tempo runs into your long run on the weekends is something to consider. One other consideration to make is if you are in that mode of running multiple 5Ks, perhaps it's summertime and there's 5Ks offered just about every weekend, and many times you have multiple races to choose from. If you're going to race a 5K during the week, consider how that fits into your overall hard efforts for the week, and you might need to consider dropping one of your speed workouts during the week so that you don't go over that 20%. Again, this is going to vary based on what your weekly mileage is, and that's going to be different for each person and what you're comfortable for, but you just want to be safe so you safeguard yourself against doing too much too soon and getting injured or hurt and sidelined and therefore not able to run. Well, that's all I've got to share with you today, and I just want to wish you luck. And if you have any questions, again, please share those down in the comments, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I would love to continue the dialogue here on Keep Running with BK. And I'd love to hear how your running's going. You have a 5K coming up. Have you tried some of this stuff? How's it working for you? What are your 5K goals? I would love to hear from you. Until next time, be safe, train smart, and keep running.